This is massive. The Knicks are one of the main teams interested in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And one NBA insider confirms that Giannis is the Knicks' main trade target this offseason. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, about 54% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. An NBA insider confirms the Knicks trade plans. Several teams around the league are monitoring Milwaukee and the Giannis Antetokounmpo situation, waiting for him to be available via trade. Among the teams interested, you'll find the Knicks near the top of the list. Shout out to Legion Hoops on the app X for giving us this following information. According to the New York Post, Steph Bondy, the Knicks, the Miami Heat, and the Golden State Warriors are reportedly among the teams interested in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I know what you're saying. That's a great report and all, but every team wants Giannis. And that's true. Every team does want Giannis and likely would trade for him if he was available. But not every team would not go after one superstar because they're prioritizing another superstar. But that's exactly what the Knicks did. Everybody heard the reports that Kevin Durant was interested in joining the Knicks. And at one point in time, that feeling was mutual. However, as soon as the Knicks had an understanding that Giannis could potentially be available this offseason, they shifted their trade plans, and now they're solely focused on trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Shout out to ESPN's show Get Up for giving us this following information and essentially confirming that not every team passed up on one superstar to ensure they could focus on Giannis. But one team did, and that team is the New York Knicks. Brian Windhorst was asked the following question: what would be a team you'd watch that Giannis would join? And according to Brian Windhorst, there's a reason that the Knicks were on Kevin Durant's preferred list and said thanks, but no thanks. Brian Windhorst is confirming here, and I think it's pretty clear, pretty obvious to everyone, that right now, the Knicks' main trade target is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And if he becomes available, Leon Rose and this Knicks front office will rush to the front of the line and try to trade for him. But you guys know me. After seeing this report, I had to look into it a little bit further to see what other information I could get about Giannis and potentially him being available via trade. Shout out to Bleacher Report and ESPN for giving us this following information. According to them, teams around the league are doubting whether the Milwaukee Bucks will be able to convince Giannis to stay by building an Eastern Conference contender without Damian Lillard. Here's what Brian Windhorst had to say exactly. Can the Bucks, between keeping their players and potentially trying to find a stopgap point guard, can they present Giannis with a team that can be a contender in the Eastern Conference? The league doesn't think so. Windhorst continues here by stating, we saw Milwaukee have the 2026 first-round pick traded on draft night with the expectation that that could be a valuable pick because teams are questioning whether the Bucks will be a strong team next year because they are questioning whether Giannis is going to be there or not. So we have multiple GMs, multiple teams believing that Giannis could potentially be available for trade if the Bucks do not build a contender around him. But you know what? Maybe one NBA insider and multiple GMs are not enough for you. Maybe you need another NBA insider. Maybe Windhorst isn't the NBA insider you need to hear from ESPN. Maybe you're waiting for Shams. And if you're waiting for Shams, don't worry. I got you covered. Shout out to Bleacher Report and ESPN for giving us this following information. According to them, ESPN's Shams Charania reported on Thursday that Antetokounmpo is closely observing how the Bucks handle the draft and free agency before deciding on his NBA future. What the Bucks decide to do in free agency negotiations with players like Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Gary Trent Jr. could impact if Giannis ultimately seeks a trade and whether opponents see Milwaukee as a potential threat next season. If a major trade is going to happen involving Giannis, expect the Knicks to be at the top of the list. They essentially cleared their schedule and are now waiting and monitoring the Giannis situation. They probably could have traded for Kevin Durant, but they didn't. And the only reason it looks like they didn't is because they know Giannis will be available. And if you know Giannis is going to be available, then why would you trade for an aging superstar in Kevin Durant when potentially you can have a superstar in his prime in Giannis Antetokounmpo? We know Giannis loves the New York market. And if he can choose any other place to play, if not the Milwaukee Bucks, time and time again, he lists the New York Knicks. He lists New York. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why Vegas almost always has the Knicks at the top of their list in teams likely going to trade for Giannis. They know something that we don't know. Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, probably for the entire offseason, has been working the phones trying to make a blockbuster deal. If you look around the league right now, tell me the players that if the Knicks made a trade for that player, it would be called a superstar type of deal, a blockbuster deal. Don't worry, I'll wait. Let's go ahead and think about it. Jaren Jackson Jr., that would be a very good trade, likely a star trade, but would it be a superstar trade? No, I don't think so. What about Walker Kessler? No, I don't think so. So who else around the league fits the bill? It's a very easy answer. It's Giannis. It's always been Giannis, and it's always going to be Giannis. The Knicks did not pursue Kevin Durant because they only had eyes for Giannis. They only wanted Giannis. And right now they understand if they make any move, any trade, and Giannis becomes available, they just lost their chance. But if they don't do anything, if they wait and see what happens in Milwaukee, then maybe they have a chance to trade for him. There's going to be a couple of factors that need to happen in the Knicks' way. One of those things has to be Giannis going to Milwaukee and saying clearly and directly, I only want to go to the New York Knicks. I only want to be traded to the Knicks. If that happens, then all the Knicks have to do is match the salary, make the money work, and maybe they have to entice Milwaukee to make the trade with them. That means, without a doubt, Karl Anthony Towns likely involved in that trade. Mikal Bridges likely involved in that trade. A couple of first-round pick swaps likely included in that trade. Some other players off the bench probably included in that trade from the Knicks side. The only reason for that is because Milwaukee will likely want to get as much as possible from New York. And I don't mind if the Knicks do this because Giannis is the prize. But here's the thing. Even though Milwaukee will want all of these pieces, the Knicks have to be smart here. If they can hold off and potentially not gut their team, but maybe give up one or two, maybe three players and some other draft picks, and we can retain more or less most of the core with this team, and we're adding Giannis to that core, that team right there, that Knicks team vaults to the top of the Eastern Conference as the favorites to go to the NBA Finals. That is what a Giannis trade could do for this Knicks team, especially if we're not gutting the team in the process. But something to note, Leon Rose and this Knicks front office, they've been pretty quiet, eerily quiet since free agency began, since the offseason began. There's a reason for that. They're plotting. They're planning. Right now, as we speak, they have a list, a priority list of their trade targets. And number one on that list is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And until they know his true status, if he's going to be available for trade or not, they're not going to make a move. They're not going to make any move. And I don't blame them. If you know the star that you've always wanted potentially could be available maybe in a week or two, there's no rush, especially not right now. Wait and see what happens. Because if Giannis becomes available, expect the Knicks and Leon Rose to do everything in their power to trade for Giannis and get him on this team. But if they understand that they're not going to be able to trade for Giannis, then once they understand that and they know that officially, they're going to pivot, change their trade plans, and target somebody else. But either way, I am very excited about what this Knicks front office is about to do. A trade is coming. It's on the horizon. It is on the way. The only question is, what player are the Knicks going to trade for? If you're following all these reports, the Knicks are waiting right now to see if Giannis is going to be available for trade. And if he is, expect this Knicks front office to aggressively pursue him. But what about you guys? What do you think about the Knicks being one of the main teams interested in trying to trade for Giannis this offseason? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.